I'm so excited for you all to be here. Thank you for tuning in. Where's everyone tuning in from? Let me know in the comments. All right, I see April from Charlotte. I see Abby from Palm Springs, from California. Super excited. So today, let me grab my slides. It's day 4. Today is the final day. If you're here, that means we're at the finish line together. And first of all, I just wanted to say I'm really proud of you for being part of this 4-day workshop. I know 4 days was a lot to commit to, and I'm sure you've had very busy weeks, and maybe some of you have fallen behind or missed a day, but we're here. We're going to talk about how everything fits together today and some mistakes that I think you should avoid, some things that I think you absolutely should do. So today is really the culmination of everything that we've learned this week. And because you're here, it means that you're ready to take action, you're ready to change your financial future, and not just your future, but your family's future too. So I'm really excited and honored to be here with you today. Now, let's go ahead. A quick poll, by the way. Let me know. I saw in the comments already that some of you had missed day 3. If you finished every step of the workshop so far, give me the number 2. And if you're a little behind, if you're still working through some things, give me the number 1. So if you've finished every single action step so far, give me 2. If you're behind a little, give me a 1. So we've talked about the 5 steps of investing, and every single step is like part of a recipe, and you can't miss a single step. And so we've done opening an account, we've funded your account, we've picked what to invest in, we know we need to give it time. And then the 5th step of investing, really the most important one that wraps this all together, is the golden rule of investing, right? And looking at the comments, I see it's kind of a mix. Maybe 40% have finished everything, 60% are missing a step or 2. That's okay, that's okay. You can catch up, it's totally fine. And please, I know it really helps me if you comment because it makes me feel like I'm not just talking to myself. So I love the engagement and interaction. All right, so today we're covering the golden rule of investing. Before we do that, I want to know thus far, what was your biggest aha moment this week? What was the moment where you felt like, oh my gosh, that just clicked, or I didn't realize that, or what was like that big aha moment that you had? Let me know in the comments. What was that big aha moment? What was the big moment that was like, I wish I would have learned this sooner? Of course, right when I need to look at the comments are lagging. Oh, I love this. Kendra says that $10 is enough to start with. I really like this because I think a lot of people, myself included, before I started investing, have this misconception that you need a lot of money to invest. But $10 is plenty to get started with investing. If you can commit to investing $10 every month, like that's progress. It's not about having these big amounts to begin with. Cole says, I can do this. Yep, yep. Ginger said that it doesn't have to be risky. Yeah, we talked yesterday a lot about the concept of diversification, right? And how it is really, really important to not just put all of your eggs in one basket and hope that company does well. You have the ability to invest in a diversified way where it's lower risk because you're investing in a bunch of different companies at once. Yeah, Aliklu says, everything that I've saved is worth less and less with inflation. That's a big aha. And yeah. Oh, I love this one. Summer says, just do it even if you don't understand it all. Yes, Action is so much better, even if you don't feel like you know the entire picture, taking action is so much better than just doing nothing at all. Perfect. So every single day we've covered something that I felt like was really important to introduce you to. So day one was why we invest. Day two was how do you make money investing and when will you become a millionaire? Day three was what to invest in, and we did your first investment together. And then finally, the golden rule of investing. So, what is the golden rule of investing? Can someone tell me in the comments what's the golden rule of investing? What's the Oh, gotta shout this out too. Steve says, way easier to start than I thought. Yes, it is. I hate that the industry and everyone makes investing seem so complicated. I feel like if everyone took this 4-day investing workshop, everyone would be much richer because they'd realize that it's not that complicated to get started. All right, golden rule of investing is all about automation. So, what automation does is it removes excuses, it makes investing actually passive. When your investments are automated, you don't give yourself the option to skip a month or say, oh, I'll do this later, I'll do this next month. Because later turns into next year, which turns into 5 years, and then suddenly 10 years from now, you're like, why didn't I start investing before? So, when it comes to automation, what we really mean by automation and is every single month you pick a number that you want to invest. So even if it's $5 a month, and then you set it so that it's automated. So $5 a month goes from your bank account to your investing account, and then within your investing account it gets invested into whatever you want to invest in, whether that's an index fund like VOO or whatever it is that you want to invest in. So that automation makes it so that it's truly set it and forget it. This is the type of investing that I love. I am a set it and forget it type of investor where I don't want to have to spend hours and hours every month figuring out, okay, what am I going to invest in this month? How much am I going to invest? For years and years, my investments have been automated. So every single month, I can spend max like 5 minutes. All I do is take a look at the email confirmation and be like, yep, my automation happened this month. Perfect. So, and automating even 1% of your goal is so much better than doing nothing. So, what I want you to do today is I want you to commit to how much you're going to automate each month. And this is really about self-accountability, right? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna come to your house and check to make sure you've actually been investing this amount, but I want you to make a promise to yourself. You're promising yourself, now that I know about investing, I'm gonna commit to investing X dollars per month for future me because I want to have a future where I'm not worried about money. I want to have a future where I know that my money is making money for me and it's growing and it's doubling. And I don't want to have to always think my money's just sitting in a savings account losing out to inflation. So let me know in the comments. We need this extra accountability, right? I want people to see what others are committing to. I want you to feel like you've committed to a certain amount. So whatever that number is, how much are you going to automate each month? $10, 15, 20? Give me a number in the comments and say, just put the number. That's what you're committing to. Research shows that when you share your goal with others, it drastically increases the likelihood that you're actually going to follow through. So you are now sharing your goal with me. I know about it. And like I said, it doesn't have to be the whole amount. It can be 1% of what you really want to invest per month or 10%. Okay. Maho says $200 a month. Perfect. Joe says $200 a month. Summer, $50 a month. Perfect. Perfect. So whatever you just wrote in the comments, I want you to commit to following the steps in today's lesson to set that to be automated every single month. Because let's visit an example from earlier this week. We talked about Chad and Lady, right? The S&P 500, which we know is the 500 largest companies in the US, grows on average every year about 10.56% per year. And Chad and Lady both make the same and both save the same amount of money. Except Lady does one thing different. Chad saves the $500, puts it into his savings account. Easy. We all know about that. We grow up being taught to save, 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 right? So saving is like second nature. We know how to save money. Lady takes one extra action step, one extra decision that Chad doesn't. Lady, instead of just saving and putting it into a savings account where she's barely making any interest, Lady invests that money, that same $500 a month in the market. Now, at retirement, what actually happens? At retirement, after $500 per month is saved every single month, Chad ends up with $240,000. His cash is essentially just losing out to inflation every single month. It's in a savings account making pennies in interest, very little interest. That same $500 a month, Lady invested it. So what happens to Lady? And that's the only difference. Chad saved, Lady invested. When Lady invests that, now at retirement, that same $500 a month turns into $3.79 million. Gotta let that sink in because I feel like that's very hard to understand why anyone would just want to save their money. Chad at retirement ends up with $240,000. Lady invested the same exact amount, not a dollar more, and ends up with $3.79 million. Which means that at retirement, Chad missed out on $3.5 million simply by saving instead of investing. And that's why this is so important. That's why it's so valuable that you took time this week to invest in yourself, invest in learning about this. Now, let's talk about another very common mistake. Paying a 1% fee to a financial advisor. How many of you have financial advisors? If you have a financial advisor, give me a yes and tell me what percent they charge. Typically, it's going to be 1%, sometimes 1.5%, sometimes 0.75%. If you have a financial advisor, let me know how much. And I'm going to show you why this is a mistake. And unfortunately, the entire financial industry is built off of making you feel insecure and making you feel like you can't do this on your own. And that's why a financial advisor will say, oh, investing, it's too hard for you to understand. Like, let me do it for you. And when they do it for you, they're like, oh, well, we'll charge a fee. It's minimal. It's 1%. It's 1%. So I see M. Jones has a financial advisor is paying 1.2%. Ali Clue says, we don't want to be Chads anymore. Yep, I don't want you to be Chads anymore. Aloha is paying a 1% fee to the financial advisor. So what does an actual 1% fee cost you? This is very important to see. So remember, Lady, $500 a month, that turns into $3.79 million at retirement because she's invested it all along. Well, if she's been actually paying a financial advisor this 1% fee all along, how much do you think it costs? Give me a guess. Just give me a guess of an amount. What do you think she misses out on because she paid a financial advisor a 1% fee? What do you think she misses out on? 10,000, 20,000? Let's see. If Lady was paying a 1% fee for this 3.79 million, she would have missed out on $1 million. At retirement, instead of 3.79 million, paying the 1% fee all along means that she ends up with 2.79 million. Means she missed out on $1 million. Because here's the thing a lot of people get wrong. And by the way, no financial advisor is ever going to sit you down and actually show you this math. Why would they? They're not incentivized to, right? Because the 1% fee doesn't just cost 1%. It costs the growth on that money, the compounding year after year. And that adds up to over $1 million over your lifetime. And let me show you, anyone having an aha moment right now, being like, that's crazy. Let me show you how that actually looks. So a lot of you used my investing calculator. And so the way that you can calculate how much a financial advisor actually is charging you and how much that costs you is, let's say you're investing $550 a month. And we already know we have 40 years of retirement. 10.56 is what the S&P 500 has grown on average each year, right? So at retirement, you'd end up with 4.1 million. Woo! Actually, closer to 4.2 million. But if you've been paying a 1% fee, that means your growth, instead of 10.56% per year, you have to subtract 1 from it. So that's 9.56. So instead of $4.2 million, calculate, you're going to end up with $3 million. So that means that you missed out on $1.2 million. And someone said that they are paying a 1.5% fee, right? If you're paying a 1.5% fee, that means instead of 10.56%, you're actually looking at 9.06. So 10.56 again was 4.2 million. If you're paying a 1.5% fee, 2.6 million. So that's over $1.5 million that you've missed out on. So that's why the industry is going to tell you that you can't do this on your own. Financial advisors are incentivized to make you feel inadequate to do it on your own. But I'm telling you, I hope that you've gotten some confidence this week. I hope that you've realized that investing is not as hard as the financial industry makes it seem. And I don't want you to get taken advantage of and losing out on over $1 million just because you thought that you can't do it yourself. Because I want you to feel confidently like you can do it yourself. I truly believe you can. So that's why it's important to invest in actually learning about this yourself. That financial advisor fee cost almost $1 million just because lady didn't want to spend a few hours learning how investing actually works. And, the cost of relying on someone else to do this for you, you've seen now, it's very, very high. Jessica's saying, dang. Yeah. And by the way, most financial advisors don't outperform the market. And so that's why they want you to they want you to feel like you can't do it yourself. Who felt that before? Before jumping into the 4-day investing workshop, who felt like, "Oh, I can't really do this myself. This is too complicated. Let me just hand it over to someone," or like, "One day I'll get a financial advisor to work this out for me." Who felt like that? This week I've seen a lot of comments in the chat, and then we had VIP. So in the VIP live workshops that I've been doing, we had a lot of people saying things like, this really opened my eyes and a big change is coming. And I truly believe that. There is a big change coming for you if you take action. Because you already spent this week investing in yourself and believing in yourself, believing that there is this big change coming for you. So write in the chat right now, what are you excited about? Like, while you're fired up right now, while you're feeling excited and you've just gone through our 4 days together, what are you excited about? What are your goals? What does financial freedom actually mean to you? Because I really want you to feel this. So type it into the chat. And I want you to, after our live session, I want you to write it down somewhere in a notebook too, or even in your notes pad on your phone. And put the date next to it. Put May 7th, 2026 next to it. Because here's what I'll tell you, and I've seen this happen so many times where people go through my workshops and they feel really excited and they feel like, "Oh, I've got this." But then what happens tomorrow? What happens on May 8th? Well, life gets in the way. Work is busy. You have kids, you have obligations, and life gets in the way, and suddenly you end up not taking action and you don't do anything, and then nothing changes. If you don't change the action, the input that you're putting in, the outcome is never going to change, right? So that's why, yes, whatever you wrote. So Priya says her dream is helping my family retire and hopefully myself. Ginger's goal is less anxiety about how I will fund my future. Take these words, what you're saying, write them down because I want you to hold on to this excitement. Kate says, seeing my money grow and having money to travel. Jessica, investing my money instead of spending. Patricia, I love this, says, stop working for the man. A lot of you saying you want to help your family too. This is why I got into investing, it's because I wanted to help my family. Paloma says, never thought I'd be a millionaire. So take this excitement because when tomorrow comes around, when May 8th comes around and life gets in the way, I want you to hold on and harness this excitement so that you can actually take action on what we've learned this week. I'm seeing all of these answers like retirement, taking care of your family, not having to work for the man. This is the energy we want because guess what? Now you know that the difference between Lady and Chad is possible. Investing is not about making more money than the person next to you. It's about being more strategic with the money that you make and making sure that money now starts to grow and make money for you passively. Now you know that it's possible to change your life. And this is really life-changing information. Most of us were never taught this, not in school, not in college. And if you didn't grow up rich, you probably didn't know this because I also grew up in a military family. My dad joined the military when he was 19 years old, and parents can only teach us what they know. And for a lot of us, if we didn't grow up around wealth, our parents only knew one side of the equation, which was to save money. So I'm very grateful for my dad. He taught me a lot about how to save money and how to be frugal. But that's only one side of the equation. A lot of us, if we didn't have wealthy parents growing up, our parents going to teach us the other side of the equation, which is that you don't just need to save money, you need to save the money and then invest it so that it's working for you and it's growing. And so the great thing about going through this workshop, the reason I'm so happy you did this is it doesn't matter, it's a shame that school didn't teach us this, but it doesn't matter because now you know this information, you have access to it, and you can use it to create a better future for yourself. And my life goal, my life mission is to help as many people as possible reach financial independence. And I want to get as much information out there so that as many people as possible can reach that financial independence. But it's hard because it's hard to find people who are willing to take action. Just as an example, I had 30,000 people sign up for this 4-day investing workshop. But today on this live session, we just have 200 people. That's how many people let life get in the way. Life does get in the way, and life, that's inevitably going to happen, but that's how life continues the same way. If you take action, and you've already shown by showing up tonight that you are willing to take action, you're going to have a different outcome. If you take action, then it's not a question of if you're going to get there, if you're going to reach those goals that you just wrote in this chat to me. It's a question of how fast you can change everything. And I mean everything, right? Whatever that everything means to you. I love what Flavia said, that everything to her is being able to take care of her mom internationally, to travel, to take time off after giving birth. Everything to Monroe means financial security for my future kids. Everything to Summer means being okay to take time off of work as a nurse and not go bankrupt taking care of myself. I love these. I have chills. Whatever that everything means to you, that's what I want you to capitalize on today. That's what I want you to think about. For me, I think everyone has kind of this aha moment in life where things click. And for me, my aha moment was because I didn't grow up with a lot of money, like I always felt like the path to success, the path to freedom and everything that I wanted was just following what everyone said, which was go to a good college. And then after college, I went to law school. And then after law school, I went into the best law firm that I could find. And I followed the path that they say is like traditionally what success means. And so, here I find myself a few years after law school. I'm working as a corporate lawyer. I have this fancy job, and I'm working these 100-hour weeks. And my grandpa gets really sick, and my grandpa meant a lot to me. My oji-chan, as you say in Japanese. And I asked my boss, I said, hey, can I take some time off to go see my grandpa? He's really sick. He's in the hospital. And my boss at the time, he said to me, no, we have this very important project coming up, these deadlines. We can't afford to have you take time off right now. And I was scared to stand up to my boss. I didn't have the financial ability to say, screw you. and, and so I kept working. And because of that, I lost out on some of the last moments with my grandpa. And I will forever regret that. But I think the silver lining is it gave me this aha moment that as long as I relied 100% on active income, which is working at a law firm is active income, my time will always be dictated by the person or people or company in charge of giving me that paycheck. And unless I create passive income, income that isn't reliant on my job, I'm never going to reach a place where I have true control over my time. And my why has always been my family. I've always wanted to take care of my family and be there with my family. And so that was my aha moment. And from that moment on, I said, it may not be possible financially right now, but one day I'm going to reach a place where I have enough passive income where no one can ever tell me who or when I can spend time with the people that I love. And so that was my aha moment. Anyone ever had a moment like that where you felt like you weren't in control of your life? And so this is my oji-chan. And now it's really my mission to give my family the best life and spend as much time with them. And because I took action then, when I had that aha moment, I took action to learn everything I could about passive income and everything I could about investing. Looking back, it was the best thing that I could have done. And I, of course, wish I would have done it sooner. I wish I would have done it years before this happened to my grandpa, but I don't really believe in regrets. I don't think you should live life thinking about regrets. You should think about the lessons that you learn and how you're going to change things for the future so that you don't repeat those same mistakes. And I actually now see it as such a blessing in disguise that that happened with my grandpa, because as some of you know, a year ago, my mom had a really, really bad stroke, and everything changed for our family. And my mom was in a coma for almost 4 months the past year, and she's lost her memory. She's lost her short-term memory. But because I had that aha moment with my grandpa years before, where I had then learned how to invest and create passive income, I've been able to spend every moment that I could of the last year with my mom. I've been able to be there with her. And that's why I'm so passionate, more passionate than ever, about teaching you about how to invest in the stock market so that you can create that passive income for yourself and not forever be reliant on active income. And I I think that a lot of the biggest lessons in life, we learn after it's too late. We learn when the event or the bad tragedy has already happened. And I'm sharing my story because I hope that you don't need a moment like that to make this decision. You know, I needed this crisis, what happened to my grandpa, to light this fire under me. You don't. You're here, you're ready. This information is in front of you. And the only thing between where you are right now and where you want to be is a decision. And I would be really doing you a disservice if I didn't make it as easy as possible for you to say, I'm ready to take action. I'm ready to make a decision. Nicole, I saw this comment that, she said, you've changed my and my daughter's life. Cheryl said, my kids, they'll have a future. This is the decision that you're making today. The action that you're making today isn't just about you. It's about everything that you want to achieve and for the people that you care about too. Here's the thing. I've shown you this week, I've shown you the formula to become a millionaire, to start investing with what you have. If you follow the 5 steps of investing, your money is going to compound and grow and get you to that number, whatever that magic number is for you, whether it's $1 million or whatever your goal is. If you invest $500 a month till retirement, here's where you're going to end up, right? Unlike Chad, who doesn't invest and doesn't end up with that money, he ends up with $240,000 in retirement if you just save. And I want to show you something that most people never think about because everything that I just showed you, the lady versus Chad comparison, the $3.79 million, that's your future, right? That's what's possible. But I want to go in the other direction for a second. How many of you, let me know in the comments, how many of you are sitting here thinking, I wish I would have started this sooner? Give me a me in the chat. Type me in the chat. Because I'm pretty sure I've heard it from you throughout this week. Like probably almost every single one of you are sitting here thinking, I wish I would have started this sooner. So let's actually look at what I wish I had started sooner means in real numbers. If you would have started investing 10 years ago using that $500 a month number, by retirement you'd have 3.79 million. But because you've waited these past 10 years to start, that's cost you $2.5 million. If you would have started investing 5 years ago, so in 2021, you would have $1.5 million more at retirement, meaning waiting has cost you $1.5 million. So May 7th, 2025, a year ago, right? If you would have started investing May 7th, 2025, at retirement, you would already have $380,000 more at retirement. Crazy to think. So, in other words, by just waiting 1 year, that 1 year of waiting has already cost you $380,000. Just waiting the past year means you'll now have $380,000 less at retirement. Because the longer you wait, the way that compounding works is that it starts to really accelerate at the end, right? As you can see here, like it really starts to accelerate at the end. So the more you wait, it costs you heavily towards the end. And I'm not showing this to make you feel bad. I know a lot of you said me in the comments, but I'm showing you this because this same math, it's still running, but now it's running forward instead of backwards. So the question isn't why didn't I start sooner? Again, I don't believe in regret. Like there's no point of regretting the past. That chapter is already closed. The question is, what does another year of waiting cost me from today? Because that part is still entirely in your control. And there's only one thing that's required to make this your reality. You have to take action. I really should like write it on my head. Take action. You have to take action. Because if you keep saying, one day I'll invest, this is what happens. And I know because I used to be like that until what happened to my grandpa. That moment in my life opened my eyes and made me say, I don't want to live a life of regret. But before then, I had always said, like, one day I'll invest. I'm young. It's fine. On one day I'll invest. If you don't take action for 1 year, what happens? That 3.7 million drops to 3.4 million. If you wait 1 year, so if you wait until 2027 of May of 2027, that 1 year of waiting cost you a house. Guess in the chat, if you wait 5 more years, 5 more years goes like that, right? If you wait 5 more years, you'll only end up with 2.2 million, which still sounds like a lot, but you'll lose well over $1 million just because you waited. And how many people are here today and thinking, oh, I wish I'd have started this 10 years ago? Tell me, I'm curious, in the chat, let me know, when was the first time you first thought about investing? How many years ago was that? Just put a number in the chat. Was it a year ago that you first thought, oh, maybe I should invest? Was it 8 years ago, 10 years ago? Let me know in the chat. How many years ago did you first think, I should learn how to invest? Because for me, it was years and years before I actually started investing. I thought, oh, I should invest. But I fell into this trap of someone told me I should invest. One of my friends told me I should invest. So I'm a lawyer, so I'm very analytical. And I started like learning what I could. I started overanalyzing and I saw all these different decisions like, okay, what account should I open? All right, what do I invest in? And I was so overwhelmed by all the decisions I had to make that the decision that I made was to not make any decision at all. I was completely paralyzed by fear, and I call it analysis paralysis. But that's why I didn't invest for many, many years. Yeah, Jessica said she thought about first investing 3 years ago. Esta said 10 years ago. Paul says 15 years ago. 15 years he's been thinking about investing. If you don't take action for 10 more years, where are you going to end up? You'll end up with 1.29 million, which, as I've seen in the comments, like there's not a single person here who isn't sitting here being like, oh, I wish I'd have started this sooner. By waiting another 10 years, you lose out on $2.5 million. That's enough for your everything, whatever that everything was. Some of you said taking care of your parents. Some of you said taking care of your children. Whatever that everything was, you're going to miss out on it if you keep waiting. But the best time to start is really today. There's no point of regretting, wishing we had started sooner. The point is to start today so that you don't miss out on another 5 years or another 10 years. I don't want you to think, oh, 5 years down the road, oh, I wish I would have taken action when Erica showed me how to invest. What I really don't want is I really don't want in 10 years from now, whether it's me or someone else, you're sitting in the same type of room. It's like this live session and you're watching the same slide typing like, me, I want to start investing. I don't want you to be that same person 10 years from now being like, oh, I wish I would have started investing. Any aha moments happening right now? Anyone saying like, oh, this is it. I'm done waiting. I know we did a lot of math just now. I took you through a lot, and I know it's heavy, and I put a lot on you, but here's what I want you to hear before we go any further. Every single person who has ever built real wealth, who retired early, who created passive income, who broke that financial cycle in their family, that generational cycle of never having enough money, every single person who's ever broken that, they all had a moment that looked exactly like this one, where the numbers got real, where they felt the full weight of how much time had already passed. And then they made one decision, not a perfect decision, not a zero fear, like I have it all figured out kind of decision. They just made one decision. I'm not waiting anymore. If that's what you're feeling right now, I want you to write that in the comments. I want you to write, I'm not waiting anymore in the comments. Because that moment, it's available to you right now. You can't go back 10 years. You can't go back 5 years. You can't even go back 1 year, right? But what you can do is say, I'm not waiting any longer. That choice is sitting right in front of you. And the good news is that you don't have to figure out what to do on your own. You don't have to figure out what to do next on your own. Because the other thing that every single one of these people, every single one of the people who had these realizations and who were able to break those cycles in their family, the other thing that every single one of them had in common was they didn't just decide to start. They decided to start with the right guidance. Here's what I've learned about everything. After building my own wealth and after teaching millions of people, I think now I have 21 million followers on social media, after teaching millions of people about money, and I've watched some people succeed and other people stay stuck. And what I've learned is the formula isn't really complicated. The formula is two things. It's strategic investing plus the right guidance. And what do I mean by strategic investing? It means you're not just going to gamble your money away. Investing by following someone random on social media who's saying, this stock is going to go to the moon, that's gambling. That's not strategic investing. But when you combine strategic investing with the right guidance, that's how you're going to get to your everything. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, said, I want the right strategies and I want the right guidance. So way back in the day, he reached out to Benjamin Graham to mentor him. And when I think about myself years and years ago, when I was first trying to get started with investing and trying to figure it out all on my own and falling into the analysis paralysis trap, I wish I would have had the right guidance, because maybe I wouldn't have been in some of the same situations where I felt like I didn't have control over my money. Maybe I would have had more confidence and security knowing that my money was working for me. But I didn't have that guidance. So what I wanted to do this week, and what I hope I hope you feel like you got this week was I wanted to be that guidance for you. I wanted to say, I wanted to be the person saying, like, hey, this is the path. It's not as scary, it's not as complex as you think. And for years and years, I've been teaching my 21 million followers on social media who look to me to help guide them with their finances. I've been teaching them about the basics of investing. And for years, people have been asking me to work closer with them to actually help them create an investing portfolio so that they can grow the life that they want and get to that financial freedom and have confidence knowing that what they are investing in is right for them. So that's what I built, and I'm really excited to tell you about my mentorship program. I have an 8-week live mentorship program to work with me so that you can actually take the next steps and take action to creating an investment plan that works for you and works for your goals. So I want to know, would it be okay if I showed you a little more about this live 8-week program that I have? Let me know in the comments. Would it be okay if I showed you a little more about this? Yeah? Okay, I would love to do that. Thank you. So, here's what I truly believe. The difference between investing on your own and actually getting to where you want to go comes down to one thing. It comes down to having the right guidance. And that's why I created a program called Million Dollar Investor, which you'll hear called MDI. I created this program because I had no one to guide me when I needed it, and because so many of you have asked me to be that guide for you. If you haven't heard about MDI yet, I'm going to tell you about it and then you can make a decision for yourself. So it's an 8-week program. It's live, it's interactive. You'll have me guiding you step by step. And then you'll also have 2 world-class investing experts with over 40 years of combined experience. And by the end of our 8 weeks together, here's what you're going to have. You're going to have a portfolio, an investing portfolio. So basically, you're going to understand exactly what to be investing in every single month. And it's going to be built specifically around you. So your age, your risk tolerance, your goals, whatever your goals that you said were. And in this 8 weeks together, we talk about everything from taxes to what accounts you need to open. And it's all based on you and your age and your risk and your goals. And for this program specifically, I've spent well over 500 hours developing this program, making sure that your questions are answered, and making sure that the content is fully updated and works for 2026. So that by the end of our 8 weeks, you will have done what most people spend their entire lives putting off. Your portfolio will be built, it will be funded, it will be automated, and it will be running every single month, whether you think about it or not. And I want to show you a little bit inside of Million Dollar Investor. So, like I said, it's an 8-week program. And by the end of week 1, you're going to stop guessing. So, right now, after our 4 days together, a lot of you have this low grade anxiety about money still. Like, what am I doing enough? Should I be paying off debt or investing? How much should I be investing? Week 1, we're going to kill all of that. So you're going to leave week 1 with a clear, specific number, your number, and a plan that's built around your actual life. It's not going to be someone else's template. And then by the end of week 2, you're never going to feel exposed again, because a lot of you, I've seen it in the questions, have this fear around, what if there's a recession, or what if the market crashes and I lose everything? What do I do in that case? That fear comes from not knowing how to protect yourself and not knowing how to invest strategically in a way where your portfolio isn't as volatile. So after week 2, you'll know exactly how your money is spread, why it's spread that way, and how to sleep at night, even when the headlines are scary. There's a lot of fear mongering. There's a lot of scary headlines. Even when those headlines are scary, you're going to feel confident knowing that, you know what, the market can do whatever it wants because your portfolio is built to handle it. By the end of week 3, VOO won't be the only tool in your inbox. Right now, a lot of you from day 3 know about one thing. You've learned about index funds and you've learned now about VOO, and that's it, right? Week 3 is where you become a real investor because you're going to understand the full landscape. What other ETFs are out there? Should I just be investing in VOO or should I be looking at other things? You're also going to understand things like, what do bonds actually do for your portfolio? Should you have bonds in your portfolio? Or what are REITs doing? And are REITs good to have? And you'll learn how to evaluate any ETF that you come across. And you're going to stop feeling like you only know 10% of the picture. Week 3 really helps you understand how this world of investing works. And it's not just theoretical, it's actually practical. We're doing this all together live every single week. And then week 4 is my favorite week of the entire program, and it's going to be yours too, because by the end of week 4, you're done. Your portfolio is built, it's funded, it's automated, and you'll have chosen your specific ETFs. You'll have set up your recurring investments, and you're never going to have to start from scratch again, because now that your portfolio is started, you know exactly what you're going to be investing in each week. That feeling of, oh, I don't have a plan is gone. Now, every single month, that money is going to come from your checking account to your investing account, and then you're going to know which ETFs it goes into automatically. It's going to be all automated for you. And that way, from that point forward, your money is working for you every single month, whether you think about it or not. And that's the moment that really changes everything. That's what we're building towards. I think I've mentioned this before, but I am what I call a very passive investor. I don't want to spend hours and hours researching the stock market every month. I like the set it and forget it approach. So what I have is I have 6 ETFs inside of my core portfolio. And these 6 ETFs, I just invest in every single month, no matter what. It's been automated for years and years. And yes, in week 4, you're going to get to see inside of my personal core portfolio. So every single one of those 6 ETFs, every allocation, why I invest in those every single month. And I've never shown anyone that publicly, but you're going to get to see it inside of week 4. And then week 5 is where it really gets fun, because by now your portfolio is running and we start talking about what actually pays you. So dividends, the passive income, right? That passive income that shows up every month without you having to work. And we're going to talk about how to build towards a portfolio that covers real expenses, not just as a concept, but as a number that you can actually calculate. You know, how much do you need to have invested in order to cover your rent each month or your car payment? We're going to figure that out for you and talk more about dividends and passive income in weeks 5. And then weeks 6, 7, and 8, this is what I call the optimization phase. And honestly, this is where the fun begins, because by now you're not a beginner anymore. So we get to talk about the more interesting stuff, like how do you adjust your strategy as you get closer to retirement? Or how do you think about short-term opportunities without gambling? How do you analyze, if there's a company that you're interested in, how do you analyze whether now is actually a good time to invest in that company or not? Also, things like, how do you calculate exactly what your dividend income will cover by the time you stop working? These are conversations that real investors have, and you're going to be ready for them, and we're going to have these conversations. So if you are feeling like, yes, this is exactly what I've been looking for, I've been wanting someone to guide me and take me through this, and I can't wait to do this 8 weeks together, then you can go to the link that you see right below me. It's erica.com/MDI to secure your spot. It's erica.com/MDI. And I also wanted to add 5 bonus gifts to help you become a confident investor as fast as possible. So I'm going to take you through and tell you about them. The first bonus, and this one's actually my favorite, is 12 months access to the $1 Million Investor Community. Not 8 weeks, 12 months. So the program itself is an 8-week program, but you have 12 months of access to the community where you can ask any and every question that you have. And here's why that matters, is because I know from experience that the questions don't all come up during the 8-week program. Sometimes a question is going to hit you 3 months later when you're looking at your portfolio and maybe something doesn't look right, or maybe 6 months later when the market does something weird and you don't know how to react, or maybe 9 months later where you're like, should I invest in this company? What do you guys think? I want you to have somewhere to go and ask these questions. So that's why you have 12 months of access to our $1 Million community where myself and our investing experts are in there every single day. So inside of this community, we don't leave any question unanswered. Either myself or one of our investing experts will respond to your question, usually within 24 hours. And these investing experts are experts who typically charge between $700 to $900 per hour of their time. And over the last 2 years, I've personally spent over $100,000 bringing these experts into the community to make them fully available to our MDI students. And you get them for 12 months so that anytime you have a question, any question you can ask them. And so if you're listening and saying, yes, actually, this is the support that I've been wanting a place to ask my questions directly and get answers, then you can go to aaaaaaa.com/MDI to secure your spot. And the next bonus is the Investor's Playbook. It's a step-by-step for how to invest. So if you ever need a refresher, if you want to look at the playbook and follow the step-by-steps, that's the bonus number 2. Bonus number 3 is the Financial Freedom Calculator. So some of you throughout our workshop have used my free calculator, aaaaaaa.com/calc. This Financial Freedom Calculator goes much deeper into it. It gives you crystal clarity on how to create your dream life, and it's much more advanced. And bonus number 4, this one really is special. I think of all the bonuses, this comes in as my second favorite after the community, because here's what I've learned after teaching millions of people about money. What stops people from getting rich isn't about strategy. It's not that they're lazy. It's not that they're not trying hard enough. What stops people is actually the mindset. It's the stories and the beliefs that we grew up with. I know growing up for me, I saw money as a source of stress. And I thought that rich people it just seemed so far out of reach to ever have money on my own. Maybe you thought rich people are greedy, or even investing. Maybe you thought like investing is gambling, or people like me don't build wealth. Those beliefs, whatever you're saying to yourself right now, whatever you're thinking, those beliefs live deep and they quietly sabotage every good financial decision that you've tried to make. And so for this bonus, I brought in Dr. Brad Klontz, who is one of the most respected financial psychologists in the world. And in this private interview, he walks you through exactly how to rewire those beliefs, specifically for people who didn't grow up with money. And this isn't this fluffy mindset content. This is actually science-backed reprogramming. And honestly, I'd recommend watching this before week 1 even starts. So this private interview with Dr. Brad Klontz is yours. It's the Money Magnet Reprogramming as bonus number 4. And then bonus number 5, I think we all know that AI can be a very useful tool if used properly. So this is a brand new bonus AI module showing you how to use and how not to use AI to make smarter decisions about your money and how to make those decisions in a more timely manner. So when you join MDI right now, you're going to get access to all 8 modules, plus the bonuses that we talked about: the community, the Investor's Playbook, the calculator, the reprogramming, and the AI accelerator. And this week, I saw a lot of questions about taxes. When we did our VIP sessions, taxes were some of the most upvoted questions across all 4 days. And I get it, because taxes are the thing that nobody talks about until it's too late, and then suddenly you're worried that you did something wrong. So I built an entire module over an hour just on this. Questions like, what happens when you sell and you make a profit? How do you actually pay the taxes? And then how do you legally minimize what you owe? And the difference between the different accounts, like what's the difference between a Roth IRA and a 401k and a regular brokerage account? You're going to learn all about this from a tax perspective. Also about like, what do you do strategically for investing for your children? And for those of you who are international in the UK, Canada, and Australia, I've built a separate tax module that's specifically for you. Because the last thing I want for you is to build this great investing portfolio and then get blindsided at tax time. So I've added the US bonus tax module and the international bonus tax module as additional bonuses if you join today. So when you go to erica.com/MDI, if you're feeling Am I back? Can you give me a 1 in the comments if you can hear me? I've never done that before. Sorry, guys. Am I back? Oh my gosh, we're back. Oh, I'm so bad at technology. So MDI comes with all the bonuses we talked about, plus the tax module so that you really feel confident knowing about taxes. And so when you go to erica.com/MDI, there are going to be 2 options. So I'll explain them to you. The first is the core program, and the second is the accelerator program. The accelerator program is the most popular. It's what the majority of people join. So inside of accelerator, you're going to get the 8-module program plus the 8-week live and interactive mentorship. So every week we're going to be going live. You're going to hear from myself and our investing experts and dive into the information that you need for that week and answer any questions that you have. And then you're also going to get access to my personal investment portfolio. And if you are more of a do-it-yourself type of person, if you don't really need the live and interactive guidance and you just want the content itself, then the core option is a great option for you. It doesn't come with the live and interactive mentorship, but it does come with the core curriculum, which is the 8 modules. One of the things, I showed you earlier how much people end up losing because of financial advisors. People pay financial advisors who, by the way, often don't outperform the market, nearly $1 million over their lifetime in fees, $1 million, just to feel like they had someone in their corner. Today, you've proven to me that you can do this yourself, that you don't need someone who's taking a percentage of every dollar you invest. But if you want someone who's genuinely in your corner, not taking a percentage of your portfolio, who is not incentivized to keep you in the dark, then that's exactly what $1 Million Investor is. That's why I created MDI. I wanted to say, this is me guiding you for 8 weeks through investing, the ins and outs, the things that financial advisors, the financial industry will never teach you. This is what I'm going to teach you over the 8 weeks. And I have no ulterior motive. A lot of financial advisors will get a kickback if you invest in certain things. And that's why a lot of times they'll push you to investing in certain things. That's not the case for MDI. MDI is exactly how I would tell my dad and how I teach my sister to invest. In MDI, we've made it so that it's a one-time investment. It's not a percentage. It's not a monthly fee or recurring charge. It's one time. And I'll tell you exactly what that looks like in a few seconds, but I want you to hold on to that number. $1 million in fees for paying someone 1% to manage your portfolio versus learning how to do it yourself through our 8 weeks together, which is just one time for life. And so when you join $1 Million Investor today, the program for Accelerator is $1,797. And again, that's a one-time fee. It's not a percentage. It's not a recurring fee. It's just one time. And you get lifetime access to all of the updates I ever make in the modules too. So you have lifetime access to the curriculum. You have lifetime access to all of the replays of our live events that we do. And you have lifetime access to all of the updates too. So that forever, you can always come back and refer to $1 Million Investor as your guiding curriculum for how to invest to grow your wealth. And if you're saying, you know what, I don't need the live and interactive, I'm totally fine with the do-it-yourself approach, which, as a reminder, Accelerator comes with the live and interactive mentorship component. Core is just the curriculum. If you just want the information and you feel like you can just go through it yourself and learn it and apply it, then Core is $1,197. Again, one-time fee. It's not recurring. You're not subscribing to anything. It's a one-time investment. And Because I truly value action takers, I think you've heard that action is something that I find very, very important. And I think action is the difference between people who are going to reach what they want to financially and people who are not. I wanted to do something special for my action takers. So if you join now, if you join before Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, you're going to get an extra $150 off of $1 Million Investor. That is $150 off just for being decisive and getting started right away. So that means that Accelerator is $150 off, or if you want to join Core, Core is also $150 off. And so if you know that you want me to guide you over the 8-week program, if you know you want to create a portfolio that has you set so that you never have to worry about it, then you can go to erica.com/MDI. Just type erica.com/MDI into your browser and secure your spot. And I wanted to welcome Barbara, Jess, Alex, Christopher, Alicia. I'm so excited to see you joining $1 Million Investor, and I really can't wait to do this 8-week program together with you. Another thing I want to say is I really believe in this program. We've had over 1,500 people go through the program, and I know it works. And so I've backed this with a 100% money back guarantee. If you go through the full 8 weeks and you do the work and you complete the program and you still don't feel like you have a clear path to building your wealth, then you just need to email my team within 14 days of finishing and we will refund you in full. I wanted to make it a no-brainer for you. And so that is why we backed it with our $1 Million Investor guarantee. And so if you want to join, there are just 3 steps. Step 1, when you go to erica.com/MDI, click that button that says Join $1 Million Investor. Step 2, choose whether you want to join Core or Accelerator. And then step 3, you're going to come to the checkout page and you'll choose a pricing option. So you can choose to pay in full one time, or if you prefer, you can split it into 3 payments. So you can just click the button to split it into 3 payments. And then you'll be part of $1 Million Investor, and I can't wait to welcome you inside. One more thing that I want to mention. So I can't remember if I've talked about this before, but I follow what's called the 90-10 rule when it comes to investing. So 90% of my investments go into what I call a core investments, my core portfolio. And my core portfolio is those 6 ETFs that I've talked about that you're going to see in week 4. 10% goes towards my optimizations. So sometimes I see an opportunity in the market that I think I can make more money in the short term. So 10% goes towards optimizations. And the way the 90-10 works is it's literally, if I have $100 to invest, $90 goes into my core portfolio, my core ETFs, and then $10 gets set aside for my optimizations, things that are more shorter term bets. And so for those of you who join now, I want to invite you to this super exclusive bonus session. I've never publicly shared and never will share my full $1 million portfolio. But in this bonus session that you'll be invited to, I'm going to show you the 10% that I invest in. So I'm going to break down the exact strategies that I've used to grow my portfolio faster and show you exactly what companies I've invested in, show you what ETFs I've invested in, what alternative assets I've invested in, so that you see my entire portfolio. And I'll show you what I've bought and sold over the last 5 years too, so you can see how much I made in profits and learn. I think it's important to see the actual companies, but more important to understand my mindset behind why did I make this decision and what am I looking at now. And so when you join now, you will be invited to a private session where you get to see my 10%, my entire portfolio, everything that I've invested in to grow my portfolio. So that's an extra bonus for my fast action takers. And just to recap, because I know I've thrown a lot of fun bonuses, if you join now, you're going to get the full MDI program plus the 7 bonuses, including the community access, plus $150 off, plus the $1 million portfolio reveal. And if you need a couple more days to think about it, then you can join by Saturday. You'll still get the $150 discount. You just won't get the you won't get the $1 million portfolio reveal, that session where I talk to you about everything that I've ever invested in. And then if you need a few more days, then doors close on Tuesday. So if you join before Tuesday, you'll still get the full MDI program and the 7 bonuses and the community access. You just won't get access to the $150 off or the portfolio reveal. And then because I really, really value taking action, I wanted to do 2 fast action bonuses that are only available to those of you who join while I'm on this live right now. And so if you join while I'm still live, then you're going to get 2 extra sessions. One session is how to live off of dividends. So we talk about dividends as one of the ways that you can make money through investing, right? But how do you actually live off of dividends? What is the strategy behind that? So in this bonus session, you're going to learn all about how to live off of dividends. And then the second session, some of you have mentioned to me that you're feeling like it's too late, that you don't have as much time left to invest. So the second session is called the Late Starters Accelerator, Building Wealth After 40. So if you're in your 40s or your 50s, 60s, or 70s and you're feeling like it's too late, yes, you need to tweak your strategy a little. You're not going to follow the cookie cutter strategy that people in their 20s will follow. You're going to tweak your strategy a little. And this session is going to teach you exactly how to do things a little differently if you're trying to build wealth after 40. So if you join right now, I'm going to stay live for about 10 more minutes answering some last minute questions. If you join while we're live, then you will get these 2 extra bonus gifts as well. And so let me go ahead and answer a few questions. Oh, that's perfect. Dennis says, what about some of us who may be a little older than others here? Is it still worth it? Yes, absolutely. Like I was saying, it's never too late to get started investing. We've had students in their 70s. We've had students of all ages, and it's never too late to start investing. You will have to tweak your strategy a little. And that's why we have this Late Starters Accelerator, the Building Wealth After 40. That's a session that you should definitely attend when you join. But I truly believe it's never too late to get started investing. Okay. I'll just recap. So if you join right now, you're going to get the full program plus the $150 off, plus the invitation to the $1 million portfolio reveal, plus these 2 extra sessions that are only available to those of you who join while I'm live, which is the How to Live Off of Dividends session and the Late Starters Accelerator, the Building Wealth After 40 session. And if you join after and need an extra day to think about it, then you won't get the 2 fast action bonus sessions, but you will get everything else we talked about. And then if you need to think until Saturday, then you won't get the portfolio reveal, but you'll still get the $150 off. And Teresa and Patricia just wanted to say, welcome to $1 Million Investor. I'm so excited that you've made this decision to advance your financial future and learn with me over the next 8 weeks. Okay, you have until Tuesday until doors close. The bonuses won't be available, the $150 off and the portfolio reveal and the 2 extra sessions. But if you want to join, if you need a few extra days to think about it and want to join, then you can join by Tuesday at 7 p.m. That's when doors close, and we're going to start preparing to get started. Anne says, you're amazing, but I'm nervous to pull it from my financial advisor and do it myself. I totally get it. I feel like these 4 days that we just did together, I had to be strategic about not giving you too much information where it would overwhelm you, but just enough where it gave you action. So maybe right now you're feeling like a little more confident about investing, but not fully confident. So you don't need to pull from your financial advisor now. By the end of our 8-week MDI program, you will be so confident about investing that at that time, that's when you can make the decision, look, if I don't want to pay my financial advisor 1%, I can pull it from the financial advisor and manage it myself now. And I'm very, very confident that you're going to reach that level of confidence by the end of our 8 weeks where you can say, oh, I'm better off doing this on my own. I don't need to pay that $1 million and miss out on the $1 million to have someone else do it for me. When would the MDI classes begin? The class start date, you will have the class starts on July 7th. So you will have the next 2 months to relax. You can start consuming the bonuses if you want. And we officially start on July 7th, and it's going to be the 8-week program. So we'll go through July and August. Yep, Anne says, do we all start the 8-week course at once? Yep. So we're going to start the first week of July, and then every single week, let me show you actually. It looks like this. So every single week, we meet on Saturdays for the live sessions, and we go over everything, go over all of your questions. If you can attend the live sessions in person, great. If you are online, great. If you can't attend the live sessions, they're all recorded so you can watch them after the fact. And then if you have any questions, you can always ask them on the live. But remember that you also have access to the community too. And inside of the community, we're there every single day answering every single question that you have. I'll actually show you. Okay, let me actually show you. So this is how the community discussion board looks. And you can see that tons of people are asking questions and every single question gets answered. Sometimes I'll create little videos here with additional information. And the community is really engaged. Like these are probably hundreds, thousands of questions that we've answered about organizing the accounts. What about for children? How do we set it up for the children? And the community is super active. Like I said, myself and our 2 experts are in there every single day. And so you'll always get an answer to your question so that you can feel fully confident. And the reason I decided to give you access to this community for 12 months, even though our program's only 8 weeks, is I know that a lot of questions are going to come up afterwards too, and I wanted you to have somewhere where you could just go and ask me the question and get the answer. So every single question that you ask, it's a personalized, individualized response. So if you're feeling like you want to join, go ahead and go to erica.com/MDI. You're going to come to a page that looks like this. Scroll down. If you want, you can read about what other students have said about MDI. Click this button that says Join $1 Million Investor. And it's going to give you the 2 options. It's going to give you the core and accelerator. And so if you feel like you want to join accelerator, you can click this button. If you feel like core is better for you, then you can click here. And so for core, the $150 off is already applied. And then you can choose the one-time payment or the split payment. For split payments, you'll make the first payment today, and then the second a month from now, and then the third 2 months from now. And then accelerator will bring you to a page that looks like this. So the one-time payment or the split payment, and then fill in your information and click the yes, I'm ready to become a $1 million investor, and that also have secured your spot. And I wanted to welcome, I see that Teresa, Patricia, Jessica, Flora, Reginald, Sonia have joined. Just wanted to say thank you. I don't take it lightly that you've trusted me to now become your teacher and teach you everything about investing from A to Z. Everyone who has ever graduated from MDI after our 8 weeks together says that it was the best financial move that they've made. You are going to learn so much about investing and feel so much confidence, and know that even if you don't have a large amount to start investing with right now, you're going to know that what you are investing is working for you and getting you towards that future where you don't have to rely on just your active income and you have that passive income working. So I'm really excited for those of you who have joined, and I can't wait to be your teacher. Okay, I'm gonna do a few more minutes to answer some last questions that I see. Will we have a chance to have personalized portfolio reviews and discussions in MDI? Yep. So inside of the community, you'll see, you might have seen when I just showed you how the actual community looks. People will screenshot what they've invested in and say, hey, does this look okay? Or they'll screenshot and show their 401k and say, whoa, I'm invested in this in my 401k. I don't even know if it is good or not. And so inside of the community, you can always ask whatever questions that you have. Steve says, I have to be honest. I'm at 60 and at square one and have never invested. Very nervous. It's, I get what it's, I get that it can be very intimidating to do something different. Like, we're not taught about investing in school. We're not taught about it growing up. And I know it can feel like investing is a scary concept. I hope that in this 4-day workshop, you've had a little taste of it and you see that it's not as complicated as people make it seem. And with the way that I've designed Million Dollar Investor, like I said, I spent over 500 hours designing the program and making sure that it really takes you from A through Z and teaches you every single thing about investing so that you feel fully confident knowing that you're doing it the right way. Because when you don't feel that confidence, that's what leads you to second guess yourself and think, oh, maybe I've made a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't invest at all. So we've really designed it for you to feel confident and also for you to feel good at any age. That's why we have students from early 20s to late 70s. And it's not a cookie cutter one size fits all program. It's tailored to you and your situation. So when you join, you're going to fill in an intake form and we're going to learn about all of our students. And in week 4, for example, when we set up the portfolio, we're going to show you like, okay, if you're in your 20s, maybe it should look like this. If you're in your 30s, 40s versus 60s. Because like I said, it's not going to be the same things that you should invest in for every age. It kind of depends on your goals and how close you are to retirement and how risky you want it to be. Some people want lower risk and are okay having some lower returns. Some people want higher risk and want higher returns, so they're okay with higher risk. So it's completely personalized to you. It's not a, hey, follow this and this is the recipe. It's, we're going to teach you how to make it customized to you. So if you want to join, go to erica.com/MDI. Okay, let me answer one more question. Oh, I'll get this. Are the fast action bonuses live events? Yes. The fast action bonuses, where are they? These 2 fast action bonuses, the How to Live Off Dividends and Late Starters Accelerator, are live events that you will be invited to so that you can ask questions on live. But then you'll also have the recordings if you have to watch the replay, and you'll have lifetime access to those recordings as well. So if you join for the next few minutes while I'm still on live, then you will get those fast action bonuses. All right, one final question, and then I'm heading off. Okay, great. What time are the classes? The classes are on Saturdays at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for, regardless of if you've made the decision to join MDI or not, I'm really proud of you for the last 4 days. You've taken time out of your busy schedules to learn about investing and learn how to actually grow your money instead of just letting it sit in a savings account. So I'm really proud of you for making that decision. I am Give me 1 second, my team is saying that people are still joining. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little timer. If you join while the timer is still clicking down, I'll give it 30 extra minutes. If you join while the timer is still clicking down, you can still get the fast action bonuses by joining when I'm on this live. So I'm going to head off, but let me figure out if I can start this timer. If you join while this timer is still ticking, then you'll still get the fast action bonuses. And just as a reminder, by joining right now, you're getting the full MDI program, the 7 bonuses, including community access, plus the $150 off extra discount. Plus, you're going to be invited to a live bonus session where I show you every single thing I've invested in. And plus, you're getting the 2 bonuses that are only available to those of you who join while I'm on this live right now and before the timer hits 0. So let me go ahead and add.
My name is Kelly Bumford.
All right, perfect. So thank you very much, everyone. Regardless of if you decide to join or not, I appreciate you. I hope that you take action from what you learned this week. And for those of you where your action step is joining me in MDI, I can't wait to be your teacher over the next 8 weeks. I'm really honored that you've chosen me to be your teacher. And I can't wait to see you inside of MDI. All right, so I'm going to head off. But if you join while the timer is still clicking, then you'll still get the fast action bonuses. All right, thank you, everyone. And these are some of my students that you get to hear from now. All right, bye, everyone.
I live in Los Angeles, California, and my name is Kelly Bumford. I live in Los Angeles, California, and I am a film and TV producer. So working with Erica about investing has just really changed my perspective on how I think about the stock market, think about my saving money, everything. I have a 401k for my company that I have a person managing it or company managing it. And I've always been like, I don't understand the stock market. I don't know what any of these numbers mean. I just give him money and he handles it. And then one day my friend, she also wanted to join in with that company. And she was like, are you happy with the returns you're getting? How's your performance? And I was like, I don't know. I literally don't know how to answer these questions. And then it got me thinking, I was like, I am just trusting this other person to like run my money. Is this a good decision? And then it was like that day, Erica was doing a free investing webinar. And I was like, I'm going to just tune in. And then when she announced MDI, I immediately was like from that first free session, I was like, I've already feel like I've gained control of my life from that first session. And then MDI really just made me be able to, one, understand the portfolio that company had put together for me. I'm now able to look at it, break it down and be like, oh, okay, here's the US stocks they have. We have some ETFs, but we have more stocks here. Okay, now I need to look and like, I put it all in and empower everything. So then I have separate savings from that 401k that I've just been like, it's in a high yield savings account, but I'm like, I know I can do something more. And now I've been able to create a core portfolio and actually start investing with it all in like 8 weeks. What I've learned about investing through working with Erica is mainly like the types of things to invest in was really, except I've always just heard stocks. I didn't really know. I knew about bonds a little bit, but her explanation of what goes into the ETFs and how to read them, how to see the valuations and tracking them and just really understanding what you're putting your money into was really what was a key thing. That was something I'd never heard of those before, had no clue. And so now I'm like watching them, tracking them, trading them. So yeah, it's really just opened up my eyes in that way. The biggest takeaway that I've had was the actual practical application of building the core investment portfolio. I did have a savings of $30,000 that I was able to take and using the portfolio visualizer along with all of the modules, especially module 4, in really taking the practical application of how to do the 90% core portfolio and breaking down what's the percentages I want to invest in, and identifying either themes or buckets of where I want to align my values with my investing. And and then trying to figure out what to do with the little enhancement 10%. So the seeing that journey of like, I have this money just sitting in a high yield account. How can it make more money? I don't know. I'm scared to like, I feel very confident in what I've just done with my portfolio is amazing. Before working with Erica, I knew nothing about investing other than I had a high yield savings account. I knew about that because somebody else was like, you should do this. I didn't know why, but it was just, I had no understanding of it. And then I have a company that manages my other retirement account, but I myself knew nothing about investing, was always intimidated, did not understand the stock market, what these numbers mean. Oh, the Dow Jones is down. I'm like, okay, great, cool. It's Tuesday. I don't care. But now, like, last week they were saying like, oh, the interest rates are stabilizing. I was like, I know what that means. I should like look into what should I put my investing in. So now I just feel like I do actually have an understanding of the market, all the different investing techniques that are out there, and that, I mean, mostly that I feel empowered that I can do it on my own. One of the unexpected wins that I got from taking the MDI course was actually being able to look at my existing portfolio that is managed by an outside company and seeing how they were investing my money, and looking at what's US stocks or international alternatives, where stuff is, and actually realized, in doing the breakdown, they actually still had a lot of my money in cash and wasn't actually investing. So now I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. And I feel that I can now go to this portfolio manager with an understanding of what I'm talking about. Whereas before, I literally was like, here's my money, manage it, because I just don't understand. And now I can actually have a conversation and say, hey, like, I see what you've been doing. I have some questions. What if we did it like this? This might be more aligned with my values. So that was an unexpected win that will help me in the future. Erica is an excellent teacher. She is so clear in her speaking, either in the videos and in the live sessions. Like, everything is so spot on, so clear, her descriptions of everything. And then she also, in the modules, would have a lot of graphics and just really taking the time to explain everything with, either a practical example or, some other kind of, explanation, where it just felt really, really clear and integrated. And I really appreciated the way that she did additional walkthroughs of how to use Portfolio Visualizer, how to use Empower, and the live sessions were great too, just taking all of our questions. I would absolutely recommend MDI to anybody at any stage in their life. It really just gives you clarity. I think even if you don't have a lot of money to invest right away, it's still such a good basis for where to begin if you don't know, or if you have money and you're like, I don't know what to do with it, you'll know by the end of the course exactly what to do with it. And it does give you better like view on the future where you're like, can I retire? Actually, I could retire. So yes, I will be thanking Erica when I am retired on the beach, lounging under the sun. I mean, in my job, I deal with budgets, I deal with money all the time. Like that is like what I do for a living. But then on my personal side, I budget very well. But as far as like how to actually grow the money, I had no idea. So now I know I feel very well rounded. The course really went above and beyond what I had expected. I love that it is lifetime access because like the later modules, like 6 and 7 and 8, were a little bit like, higher level concepts that I was like, I'm not exactly ready for that right now, but I can see myself getting there. And like, I'm actually like really excited to like go back and rewatch them. So I mean, I think it was great. They were bite-sized clips within each module. Yeah, I think the pacing of it was really good. The live sessions. I mean, the bonus of having Alex and Eric like in the live sessions and them doing the additional recordings as well was just like a icing on the cake. So I don't know, I loved it.
My name is Angie. I am from El Paso, Texas, but I live in Huntsville now, Huntsville, Alabama, and I am a physical therapist assistant, and I joined the Erica team, not really the team, but her following, yeah, to learn more about financial literacy. So through working with Erica, I have learned so much more than I did know before starting the program. I've learned pretty much how to set up a portfolio, how to be a little bit more diversified in that, well, not a little bit, very diversified in that portfolio, as well as how to optimize my portfolio without putting everything that I have in that portfolio at risk. Yeah, and I've never really done anything with investing, so this has really helped to launch that for me. Specific wins with investing, I would say that I come from a background that's not particularly financially literate. So one of the big wins has been my nephews who are 18 and 21 asking me for advice and, coming to me and telling me all about, what their friends are saying, which is like terrible advice because they're like 18 and 21. And being able just to give them more nuanced responses and educate them and have them, start their investing journey much, much earlier than I did. One of the ways in which I've applied what I've learned about investing practically is I shouldn't say I have, but I'm in the process of setting up a Roth IRA, which I had no idea what it was prior to this. And I am also in the process of setting up, I guess it's already set up, but I'm in the process of investing more into a brokerage account and funding those investments and setting things up to be automatic as well. My husband and I, we were following along with the program, so we have really kind of hunkered down on our finances and seeing how much we can, put away and what our goals are. And I really love that aspect of it was the goal-driven investments, because it really, I don't know, it made us have that conversation first and foremost, which is healthy in any relationship, talking about money, but also being able to see how many goals we have in common and that we're wanting to work towards them together. I think it is very overwhelming because we've been saying we were going to do it for a very, very long time and we haven't quite gotten around to it. And I say long time, it's like our 4th year together. And so now it's like, okay, now we actually have to do this because we want to, because, we see the potential and we see the growth. It's not like an obligation. It's something that we want to grow with together, which obviously like separate portfolios and everything, but, we're informing each other's decisions. So that is really, really nice. So before working with Erica, I did not feel great about investing versus now, after having completed the course, I have a lot more confidence. I mean, I think I went from 0% confidence to about 60 to 70, there's still a lot of learning to do. And I think that's a good tactic, right? To always stay informed, always be learning. And that's definitely something that Erica and her team reinforce is continuing education, being involved in the markets, learning, what causes what, like cause and effect reactions shape the world around you. And it's good to be more of an active participant in the life and the world you live in. And I think that is really the backbone to a lot of it that has really come holistically for me. Specific wins, I would say that I have had just getting started. That's getting started, I think, is the hardest part, and getting over that fear. So really the fear is gone. Well, I shouldn't say it's gone. A healthy degree of fear, I should say. But getting started has been a huge win. Also, just budgeting has really informed that, and kind of setting up an emergency savings plan. And kind of, she did this whole video where she looked at kind of what you should invest in first, whether it's savings or brokerage or Roth. And so that was really, really great in helping shed light on order of priority, which of course it's going to be different for everyone. But I found that a lot of the stuff that she said really mirrored some of my beliefs, and also like where I'm at in life. We're both in our 30s, and it was just, I think it's like that millennial experience. I really enjoyed working with Erica. It was great. Her teaching style is very like assuming, like talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old. I would absolutely recommend MDI to others, especially because if you are looking for a way that is structured to learn about finances, that is not pressured, if you're not looking to be told exactly what to do and how to do it, but more so you're looking to educate yourself about investing in general and different approaches that you can take, I would absolutely recommend MDI. I never felt pressured at any point during the program to invest in certain stocks, to buy more products. It was very much my choice, and I enjoyed every part of it.
Because of Erica's MDI and her 4-day workshop, I'm now able to plan ahead for my children, which is I'm mostly grateful for. Working with Erica, I'm confident that it's okay that I knew nothing about investment, absolutely nothing. I literally just opened my SoFi account and started with my $100 and step by step learning to build my portfolio. So I am glad that she made me feel confident and comfortable enough to sign up from zero. I'm almost 50, and a lot of financial advisors have approached me and asked me if I want to work with them. And investment has been something not even a 1% of my life. So I've said no to everything. But with Erica, she stated in one of the lessons that with MDI, you could be your own financial advisor, that when you work with an investor or work with a financial advisor or a professional, they'll probably share a lot, but not everything. But in this way, by being educated through MDI, we're our own teachers and we have full control of our future and our investment. So that's where that's what I've learned from Erica. I've learned from Erica that I could be in full control of my investment and my future. I decided to sign up for MDI because I've been following Erica on Instagram for quite a while, and I followed in her advice for airlines and other things. So even from that, I already had trust, and because they would throw too much at me all at once. But I liked how she had the chapters and lessons divided so that it's easy to follow. I recommend MDI by Erica to anyone who's ready to invest from their 20s to, like me, almost 50. My daughter is 20 right now, and after I complete my lessons, I was going to start teaching her and have her to join me on this journey. So I think, like Erica said, it's never too early or never too late to start.
Erica, doing MDI with Erica helped me in the sense of like being closer to financial freedom, understanding how investing is. Now I'm very confident not to have a financial advisor moving forward who would take my 1%. So that's a very big win. and like financially and honestly on a personal level, I could see that this is something very achievable, especially with somebody with my schedule where I work as a physician and I'm most of the time I'm very busy with work. But I love doing that, and I even loved it more after MDI. In terms of investing, I learned from Erica a lot. I think it was from A to Z with all the tools that I need to move forward and not just a spoon feeding thing, but more like teaching you how to catch the fish rather than giving you the fish. So in MDI, you have two sections of mainly, I would say, if you want to like very simplify it. After the first section was done, I did the automatic. I started investing very seriously. I did automatic contributions to my account. They're right now on autopilot, making hopefully money over the next 20 years. And also, I learned how to invest on a short-term basis if I need to. Before Erica, investing for me was something that I vaguely knew about. Um, and I really wanted to do it, but I didn't know where to start, you know. And I always used to postpone my investment, my first day of investment, just because of how busy my schedule is. And I was like, it's okay, I can do it the next day after I graduate, things like that. And time flies. So the course really put me in perspective. On a personal level, whether it's Erica, Eric, or Alex, I can tell those are all expert people that are trying to help us and be better people, independent in the world of investing. And you could see that coming out from them. So that's the most enjoyable part, is that you could, on a personal level, you could feel connected, even though we're thousands of miles away. And then with that trust gets built up, even though we never met in person. And then you get to learn on a much better level. I would definitely recommend MDI for others. And to be more specific, Erica MDI. Just, I mean, if you want to really, even if you don't want to achieve financial freedom, if you just want to achieve some basic living standard that you want in the future, then you really need to invest. You need really to depend on passive income, because you never know what the future holds and you can't work forever. This is life. And MDI was going to give you that. MDI is going to give you the tools that you need to do that.
Working with Erica has been beneficial for somebody that is not ready to invest a lot. I wish to avoid being defeated completely by inflation. A couple of years ago, Erica made me get a high interest savings account, which was great. And so now I'm trying to find out how to beat inflation. I'm not trying to understand the stock market that much. I'm just trying to like tread water. So I'm one of the ones that is trying to keep up with the Joneses by the S&P 500 standards. And later on, because this course teaches you how to do it, to take 10% of my investment funds and follow the market and invest in things that mean something to me. And I can afford to make some mistakes because it's only 10% of the whole. And I can also take that 10% is significant, so I can actually do something with it. But it's pretty safe, and if you don't know anything about the stock market, like I don't, I do now. I know how to invest now. I know more about how to invest than than I know about the stock market, because of the help I get with MDI in Erica's program. I've learned some things about investing by working with Erica in the complications that are involved and the simplicity that's involved. If you don't know anything about it, it's all confusion. But working with Erica, you get to understand the big picture, keys to understanding what you're trying to do, how to play it safe, and then how to depart from that when you feel that you can understand the level of the risk and you've analyzed it to a point where it's reasonable to move forward. Just don't put your money someplace and yank it out. But Erica walks you through exactly how to set up an account and how to start investing. And she starts you out with a very secure investment, which you can change if you feel lucky, but it's not advised. She just shows you how easy it is to start investing, and then the entire program is how to invest in what you want to invest in. So without risking very much. And if there is a kind of risk, then she'll tell you, but you'll be able to calculate whether or not you want to take that risk, because the risks that she will encourage you to take are ones that you can afford. And really, it's not that much of a risk. It may fall, but it'll rise. So you're always on the upward bound with her advice. Before working with Erica, I knew nothing about investing, and so I wouldn't even try. And she's very good at convincing you that it's not that hard to get started. And it's not that hard to get started with something that is pretty safe. And by pretty safe, it's better than your savings account for sure. And it's probably going to be better than any kind of inflation that is going on. So you're beating inflation. At the very least, your money is doing something other than disappearing before your very eyes. Because if you do nothing with it, then you're losing. Because the same time, you can hold your $100 bill in your hand and just watch it disappear if you don't do anything with it. So you have to put it someplace. And even a high interest savings account isn't enough. It's better than nothing. But by investing, and she shows you various levels. If you just want to get your money in some place where you're not losing, then that's one thing. And if you want to try to build it into something stronger, then you have the tools by taking her course. Well, now I'm getting ready to help my granddaughter start investing when she's in middle school. Because if she just puts $10, it doesn't have to be $10, it can be $5 at middle school, by the time she's in college, she'll be a millionaires. Working with Erica and her teaching style is one of covering a lot of material in little small bites so that you'll probably take several bites before you have to leave it. And when you come back, there's little small bites. So you can get a week's worth of videos done and digest them without too much difficulty, because you're not sitting there for a half an hour during one video and just trying to remember what it is that you're covering. She will deliver a main concept in one little short video. 5 minutes, 7 minutes, maybe it's 7 minutes. So by the time that 7 minutes over, there's only one little subject in that little corpuscle. And then after you've gotten that done, you kind of can remember that and you move on to the next one, then the unit's over. There's 1 week out of the way. So it's easy to digest. Well, I would recommend MDI to anybody that doesn't want to lose money and and wants to learn from somebody who can explain it in such a way that Erica has a team. It's a three-person team, and they're all excellent at what they do. So she is the lead, and she has two others that help you to understand, and they're professionals, professional investors. So it's easy for, and she breaks it up so that you can understand it, because the other two also break it up for you, but they can deal with the big boys down at the stock exchange, you know. But so it's easy to take, and they cover all the basics in understanding what you need to do generally, and then where you can go off on your own and start playing around with the system. But they always tell you, you know, like if you're chopping wood, some of the basics are you don't chop toward yourself. So they show you the proper principles for approaching it. And for me, it's something that's completely foreign before I started, and now it doesn't seem like that such a difficult thing to tackle.
I liked about MDI was the experts that trained us. I mean, it was amazing having the skills of three awesome people that would be very difficult to get on any other platform or from anyone with just honesty and integrity. And I now know that I have so much more confidence in putting my money in and leaving it, and it's already, I mean, it's already grown. I look at it and go, whoa, I should have done this a million years ago. So yeah, it's just given me so much more confidence, and I feel a lot more secure without just leaving money in a bank. I know it's going to grow now. So it's great. It's been really, really helpful and really insightful. You know, there's a lot of information there, and if you're coming in from not knowing anything, it could be quite scary. But having those videos to go back over and over, to stop, to pause, to print out, to have your end of each module booklets for all the terms, it's super helpful. I mean, I could go over it 100 times and still pick things up. But the other thing I love about it is that you've got the opportunity to communicate with a great community, and everyone's so supportive. It was really amazing.